Okay, hello students. Here's a tutorial that will help you create a retro spaceship using Shapr3D. So what we want to do with this task is to capture that old school retro sci-fi vibe with our designs. So before we begin, we're going to do a little bit of research. We're going to look at some old rocket designs. And as we look at them, we're going to think about the design features that are consistent across all of these toys. So one design feature is a curved cylindrical rocket shape. Cool. The next feature are fins at the bottom of the rocket. At the bottom of the rocket, there's like a little booster area, a little booster thing. And then around the rocket, you've got rivets, like little dents or little grooves in the shape of the body, and portholes. So we're going to try and create the cylindrical body, the fins, the booster, portholes, and then the little details that wrap around the body. Okay, so how to begin? First things first, make a new file. All right, as we begin, right, okay, we're going to have to make sure we're paying attention to the items on the left-hand side of our menu. We're going to make sure we're looking up here at grid unit of measurements, right? If units of measurement is not set to millimeters, make sure it's set to millimeters. The little magnet, sometimes we're going to turn the grid off, sometimes we're going to turn it on, depending on the feature we're drawing. All right. And an important part of this tutorial is paying attention to these three lines, the green, red, and blue lines, right? These lines are going to act as like references and a central axis for a lot of the things we create as part of this tutorial. All right, so to begin, we're going to click the front of our view cube in the top left-hand corner. We're going to click grid, and we're going to make sure you've got snap to grid on. Create a sketch, and then click line. The very first thing we're going to do is make sure we're specifying an exact height of our spaceship. The exact height is 120 millimeters. All right, so it's going to fit within that size. The next thing we're going to do, still using line, we're going to drag a line in this direction and drag a line in that direction. Okay, it doesn't matter how wide they are, just at the top and bottom of that 120 millimeter line. Okay, so the bottom line is going to act as the bottom of our rocket. The top line is going to act as the top of our rocket. We can't exceed those lines. All right, now we're going to come and turn snap to grid off, and then we're going to find spline. I like to have it set on control. All right, the spline tool, you drag your Apple Pencil, put a little bit of pressure, drag, 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 drag. Right? Create a shape of a rocket. I'm going to come back, turn grid back on, click on line, and now I'm going to draw like a little thing that looks like this, a little thing that looks like that, and then I'm going to put a booster down the bottom. So rocket shape, booster shape down the bottom, click trim, and remove some of these details. Alrighty, so in effect you're drawing half of the rocket if you're looking at it from front on. Before we make this three-dimensional, come over, click line, turn this back off again. So we're going to have to turn snap to grid on and off a few times. All right, and what I'm doing is like I'm putting just a few little indentations into the rocket design, and hopefully it'll make sense in a little bit. So these things will act as kind of like the details that will wrap around the rocket. All right, so if I zoom in, they look kind of like these. Cool, fantastic, good. Click exit sketch. All right, you know it's good to go because it's blue inside. Once it is blue and you're looking at this sketch, and you're looking at your sketch, you're going to click Transform, find the Revolve tool, you're going to click the inside of your rocket shape, and then this is what I was talking about earlier with that blue line. Tap on the blue line, right, and that acts as the axis that your design will be wrapped around. All right, and then there we go. So we're almost done. Come over to your bodies and hide sketch. All right, if your rocket looks really fat at this point, it's probably a good idea to delete your sketch, delete body 1, and give it another go. Okay, rocket body is complete. Now to move on to the fins. Spin around, click on the right side of the view cube, and create a sketch. I'm going to drag a line in this direction, drag a line up, get my spline tool, and draw a fin shape. I can tap on these little white dots and edit a bit. Okay, just get something that looks cool-ish. All right, we've got a fin shape. It's going to go at the bottom of our rocket. So it's very important you've got a line going up and along the bottom. Then you just have 2 lines. I'll delete this because I don't need it. 2 lines that are acting as your random fin shape. Okay. Now we click Exit Sketch. So we're going to extrude this. However, if we extrude it as is, this is what's going to happen to our design. So again, paying attention to items. Come up and turn body number 1 off. Click the profile of the fin now, and I'm going to type 2.5 and drag it 2.5 in that direction. Spin the fin around, and then this time I'm going to type 5. I don't know why Fusion doesn't let you measure from one face to the other, but yeah. 2.5 in that direction, then 5 in the opposite direction. That's because you want it to be lined up in the center of the ship, right? If it's not in the center of the ship, it'll be like offset and going in one direction only. All right, we've got a fin, but the fin doesn't look particularly fin-like. It looks like a big clump. So you're going to click this edge and click that edge and then drag and put a little curve on it. I'll type 2. Oops, let's try that again. Click, click, drag. Put a little edge on it, or curved edge. Click, click, drag, put a little curved edge. The bottom of the fin, you could put a curved edge on there, but in my experience, when it's 3D printed, if the bottom face there has like a lip or a curve, it doesn't print very well. All right, let's have a look at what we've got. Rocket ship lined up perfectly along this blue line. One fin lined up on only one side of the ship. So now, what we're going to do is click Transform, and what we want to do is copy this fin and rotate it around the ship. So when you click Transform, rotate around axis. Double tap the fin, click Next. Again, click the blue line in the middle. Click Copy, and then drag. So you've got an option. If you want 3 fins, each time you go Transform, rotate around axis, double tap, Next, click that blue line in the middle, copy, then drag. If you type 120, you'll have 3 fins wrapped around the spaceship because a circle has 360 degrees, so divide that by 3. You could have 4. When you do that, you just have to type 90 instead of 120. All right, so yeah, pretty quickly, we're almost done the rocket ship. Final little thing to do is to add our portholes to make it look a little more futuristic and stuff like that. Right. So what I think, what you don't want to do is this. If you find a face like this, where the fins aren't symmetrical, right? So the fin on the right side of the left side of the ship is kind of like over here. The fin on the right side is over there. They're not perfectly lined up. Move the rocket around until you find the face where the fins are symmetrical. Then create a sketch. Drag a line down the middle. A circle tool for a porthole. You can grab the circle, you can click the circle tool again, or you can just find this tool, offset edge, and drag. And I might go 1.5. Exit sketch. Actually, I might go back in the sketch and put a second. Right, a second portal, offset edge again, 1.5. Right, we've got the sketch for our portholes there. Again, same thing, right? If we extrude those now, right? If we extrude those now, with the body turned on, it'll make a big hole. So what you need to do is turn the body off, and you're going to tap the insides, not the rims just yet, and make a shape that looks about this big. Deselect. Click on the rims of the porthole and drag it so it's just slightly higher than the interior. Right, cool. Turn our sketch off. Double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap. So we do this part with body number 1 off, and then we turn body number 1 back on and drag so that we can move the porthole just to the other side of the body of the rocket. And we're good, right? So fantastic. Our rocket ship is ready. Oh, I made a slight mistake. So see that face of the portal there is like interfering with the portal. I'll drag that so it's not. That's better. All right, we completed a retro space rocket. To share this file for 3D printing, up the top, share, export, export project, click 3D print. Make sure you stay with STL. Put your name on the file, and then click continue. Right. In my experience, it is best. Weird things happen when you save it to your iCloud. Weird things happen when you send it via email. Right? In my experience, the best way to do this is to save it directly onto your iPad, not in downloads, but just on my iPad and save there. Right? That means you'll have access to it. You can either copy that onto a USB or share it via email, that sort of thing. So I think that's the best practice to get into. All right, so we've completed our rocket. Now, really quick, let's add some color. Visualizer. You've got color for this. Put some yellow fins on there. So you can only apply color to different bodies. If the bodies are combined, you can't combine colors to the whole thing, which is a bit of a bummer. And we'll have blue portals. All right, very good, right? We finished our rocket design. What you can do now, just for fun, right? We can change our environment. We can see what we got. All right, now just for fun, while we're in this mode, visualizer, click on AR. We can point the iPad at a desk. Loading. All right, I think my finger's in the way. All right, here we go. Point it at a desk. move the iPad around, and there you go. You've got an AR copy of the rocket. You can test the size. Oh, you can see how big it's going to be. So that's how big your rocket design will be. All right, good luck. Hopefully that works for you.